Good morning, everyone. My name's Eric. Gonna be doing the inaugural video for my new channel, Precondition Fitness with Eric. I want a basketball court, as you can see. This is kind of where it all began for me. Obviously not my NBA career. This is the spot where I had the realization that changed my life completely for the better, and I feel so compelled to share what I know now because so many people want this information. How does one do a 180 from being extremely overweight, out of shape, and in a lot of pain, to feeling comfortable in your own skin, seeing progress? How do we do it? How? And there's countless companies, influencers, and people who will say the answer is my product. It's my energy beverage. It's my mushroom coffee. It is my weird exercise device that's gonna change, something in you to allow you to look like me. Now, as you may be wondering, what exactly here? Let's pop this off quick. So this isn't what the peak male form looks like by any stretch, but I think it would be helpful for you to know that a year and a half ago I was 300 pounds. That's good for a BMI, body mass index number, well above 40, 44 to be exact, which made me morbidly obese. And the one thing that was frustrating me looking at fitness videos on fitness TikToks, fitness anything on any platform, 99% of those people look like they've never been out of shape in their life. And, they just don't understand that there are real physical barriers, real pain. For me, my knees hurt so much that I could barely get upstairs without having to kind of do a sideways shuffle, or sideways shuffle up or down those stairs to kind of find an angle that didn't have my knees in agony going up the stairs. I couldn't have the proper grip on dumbbells because my hands were so weak and inflamed at the joints and things. So I feel like I have a unique perspective to share for my fellow overweight people, men and women, kids. Oh my God. If I could go back in time and talk to myself about what I understand now, it made the biggest difference for me. If I could go back and share that information with a younger me, my life would have taken a completely different path. But the beauty here is that I realized that it's not too late. I'm in my mid-30s. I started this possibly in the worst position one could begin it at, and that's 300 pounds at a towering height of 5'9". Again, good for a body mass index of 44. With a lifetime of a sedentary career. My career has always been behind a computer in the finance world, actually. And I feel like I can speak to a lot of people who are going, my genes are the reason for why I am this way. I thought it too. I said, man, in my younger years, let's say my mid-20s, I was living on my own. I got an apartment for myself in the city back when the rent could be $1,000 a month. And I went to the gym religiously for months and months at a stretch. And it made me feel better. But I never crested, a certain level of fitness that I always wanted to. And I never got to where I could see any kind of definition in my arms. And so having these slight moments of success and then not really getting to where I wanted to go, it was so easy to backpedal, let some minor injury, being a little sick, take me out of the gym, and then I would spiral out of control. My bad eating habits would bring me right back where I had been. So what was it, right? Why am I walking around this basketball court next to this near this beautiful lake? We got the geese going. What was it, right? What happened here, and what was it that I realized that started to change things? Well, I'm not going to do that thing where I don't tell you until 4 videos down the line. I had a moment of epiphany right here on this basketball court where I think it was the wind. It was a much warmer day than today. Today is actually very cold. But it was a summer, May of 2023. I was out here on my own trying to put up some shots, and I took a deep breath. And then I kind of had this moment where I went, why do I not do that more? So I did. I just kept taking these deep breaths, right? Really letting my lungs fill up to their then capacity, which was not great. And I did that over and over. And then I actually started crying because it felt so good, and the realization hit me that, oh my God, why have I not been breathing this way all the time throughout my life? No one sits you down and teaches you how to breathe, right? I can only think of 2 moments where your breathing is even a consideration. That's right after you're born, where they want to make sure that you are breathing, so you get a little slap on the tush, and they want to hear your cries, and boom, you're breathing. And unless you complain of discomfort of some kind, that's it. Nobody's gonna bring up your breathing again. They'll listen to your chest in a physical and make sure it sounds like air's going in and out, but nobody teaches you how to breathe. And that's actually what I think I'm gonna do, because it was changing the way that I breathe not just during workouts, but for the other, you know, 20 plus hours of the day. It is my, I'm not going to say belief, I know that it is changing my resting, breathing behavior and pattern that has totally changed my ability to do physical work and by extension my physical fitness. Now I may not look like much right now, but I am right now down to 220 pounds from 300, and it's felt, dare I say, easy. It's not easy, right? It's not easy, and it takes discipline, and it takes grinding every day in different ways. But I've found a way through just happening upon it, and I sort of ran with the idea: how much better can I feel by changing the way that I breathe? And I've been absolutely shocked and amazed by the answer to that question, because the answer is, I feel decades younger and stronger, and I am able to do things physically that I couldn't do as a 20-something-year-old. And I'm doing this and beginning it now as someone who looks like me, because I don't think there's a lot of voices that are my size speaking to the audience that needs the information the most. We get spoken to by these fitness gurus, fitness experts who don't know the first thing about what it's like to be out of shape, and therefore are not properly equipped to help us get out of it. But I know that I am, because I've done it. I'm continuing to do it, and I want to invite all of you along in my journey as I continue to do it and continue to make progress while sharing the steps that were able to get me there. Now I know there's gonna be people making comments about who the heck am I. I don't think it should matter, that I don't have a gym that I, named after me, or that I'm not in the medical field. Honestly, as long as the information is right, isn't that what's supposed to be the most important? And I think that my results speak for themselves. Now, I'm gonna give you guys some supporting evidence. I want to include that in here. I want you to see images of me at my biggest, because it might be hard to gauge looking at me now the dramatic change that has already taken place, and that's going to continue to take place. And it's funny, I think a lot of people can do this. There's so many moments, important moments in my life, where I remember exactly what I weighed. And I will be able to dig up photos and things to share with everyone, just to reinforce what I'm sharing. But I can rattle off the top of my head. Graduating high school, I weighed 245 pounds. Again, 5'9", 245 pounds. I didn't want to go to college that size. I committed myself to working out, but at the time, because I didn't know what I know now, I had to struggle through a 2-mile run on the treadmill, and I couldn't run the whole thing. I could barely run a quarter mile before I had to slow it down. And you play that game of slow it down, speed it back up, slow it down. run as much as you can, right? And that's good work. That's good. Don't feel bad if that's the stage that you're at. I'm going to try to help us get to where we're running that whole thing straight through. And so doing that, back at the summer before college, I would run 2 miles in the morning, 2 miles in the evening, and I was really limiting my food intake. And that was good for dropping 45 pounds. I started college 200 pounds, put on the freshman 15, then the freshman 30. I guess it's supposed to be 15, but a lot of pizza, a lot of beer, being away from the family, anxiety, and I got big. I dropped again one summer, sophomore year, but then junior and senior year, I went all the way up to 265 pounds, which I'll be able to show my graduation photo, how wide I was, wider than I am now. It's been a struggle my whole life, and for the first time these last year and a half, it's felt like reaching my fitness goals is inevitable instead of impossible. And I know that I can give my fellow big brothers and sisters the information they need, what I wish someone had done for me, to help them get where they need to go. This is just, like I began the video by saying, just a little introduction to me, to my story, and the purpose of this channel that I'm starting. Incidentally, it's Precondition Fitness with Eric. And preconditioning, right? What is that? So it's a Tesla term that I borrowed. So if you have ever been in a Tesla, or maybe other electric vehicles do it, when you're navigating your way to a charging station, the car begins to precondition the battery for a more efficient charge. And I just love that concept of preconditioning, because that's exactly what I needed to do, and what I'm saying that you all need to do if you're watching this. Precondition your body to be ready to do the physical work that it's going to take to change your health and your life for the better. There's very specific things that I'm going to be describing that helped me from a starting point of, like I mentioned before, being in a lot of physical pain, having painful knees, being weak all over, that have opened up the possibility of doing the physical things I've always known that I needed to do to really make a meaningful change in my fitness, but that I couldn't physically do because of those barriers. And so again, this is Eric with Precondition Fitness with Eric, and I hope that you guys follow along with me, because if I had a mountaintop, I would scream this information from a mountaintop for you guys, because there's nothing more terrifying to me than this Ozempic GLP-1 nonsense. Even if it works, it's just not, it cannot be good for you. And even if you are able to stop yourself from overeating, you're not going to be doing the physical things you need to be truly healthy and to have the kind of musculature and frame that you need to move your body the way that you're going to want to be able to. Who in our lives isn't purchasing every product under the sun, on the old TikTok shop that promises extra energy, extra, extra everything. They're profiting on selling us a hope that something will work and be easy. I don't have any such product. I have information that I feel like everyone needs to hear, and I'm going to share it. And on that, this is Eric signing off. Bye-bye.